welcome to Ages Cozy Crochet Corner. Well, today I bring you the last of my Ruanas. So today's Ruana is done with a willow square. So the one that you saw in the beginning, that's the one that we'll be recreating today. The only difference between those is this one is done with 5 in this panel, and we'll go over panels. So this one was done with 5 in the panel here, and in the back we have 4 panels by 5. Okay, so we're just adding an extra piece to the panel, so to create different lengths. And we're working with a 4.5 needle hook today, so both of them were done in that. I will go over the different sizes because depending on what type of material you're using, if you will come out with different sizes of your square, which will help you gauge how many you want to put in your panel. So the only other difference with this is I had the sides open, so the sides were completely open, thus giving us a perfect Ruana. But the piece spoke to me and said, no, I want to be closed and I want pockets. So I actually closed off the sides just from this block on down, and I put in pockets. And the pockets are made, the pocket is made with 2 willow squares put together. So we're going to go over that. I'm going to show you what the piece looks like before I close it up, and then I'm probably going to close up the next one. It kind of makes it like nice and cozy. I like the feel of it closed. And this one was done with mandolin yarn, and we'll be using a different type at the table to give you 2 different types of yarn to see how they work up the willow square. So with that being said, show you the back again. We're going to go to the table and we're going to work this up. And so you know, with this one, what I did is I made the squares, and I didn't concern myself with order. So I didn't manipulate any of the yarn to make these squares, but once I did, I decided to put the darker ones at the bottom and the lighter ones at the top to kind of give it a nice little patchwork feel to it. But we're going to be making all of our willow squares right now in the same uniform colors. Okay, so we're going to get to the table, and again, I'm going to show you how it looks with the basic Ruana with it open, and then I'm going to show you how to put, so come up the side and put a pocket in if you want to make it with pockets, because I really like this one a lot, but I kind of like it better with the pockets. So as always, I like to give you guys options. So let's get to the table and let's work this out. So hi, crochet fam. So you just saw the one that I made with the willow square, and I did it with the mandala yarn, and I worked everything with a 4.5 millimeter hook. Now this one measures 7 inches, okay? Because I don't think I mentioned that, so I wanted you to know it measures 7 inches. So if you want to work that one, it's just kind of shy of 7 inches if I stretch it a little bit. If it was more laid out, I just finished making this one, it'll probably be hit exactly at 7. Now I wanted to use another yarn, so I used Red Heart. I used Caron. I think the color is lilac. Let me see. What is that? Yeah, lilac. Caron, the 1 pound yarn. And then I am using this one. I've never used this before, Crab Smart, and I wanted to see how it worked up, and it's really soft. So far I really I like it. So this is the yarn that I use for this one, and it is 4.5 millimeter hook for this one as well. But this one measured, and this is all medium 4 worsted weight yarn, but this one measures about 8.5 inches. Okay, we have 8.5 inches here. So I wanted to try to do a different block, and this one, of course, came out bigger than the other one, so I did not use as many blocks for this one. But regardless of which one you like best, and you want to create, of course, you'll see this one at the end of the put together. You put them together in the same exact ways. And in the beginning, I've already told you how many blocks we've used here and how to put that together. So it's done in the same ways. You just see that we have two different sizes. So this is why I use less blocks. I use 5 on each row here, and this one will be using 4 on each row. So depending on what kind of yarn you're using and what size block you get, maybe that'll help you determine how many blocks you want to use to put in your piece, because they both come up the same, and they the end measurements will be a little bit different. But I will give you the end measurements for this one when I have totally put it together with that border along the the sides. All right, but I wanted to get two different fills, and I just absolutely love this this willow square. So I did it with this, and it was so random with the color changing. I absolutely love the randomness. One of our crochet fam, we were talking, and she used the term wonky, and I've been using wonky constantly ever since then. I just love it. It the wonkiness of the random colors is spot on. So I'm gonna move this one out the way. We've already pre-discussed that one, and we're going to go over to this one. Okay, so that's the number count that of these that you'll need. With this one, we are again doing the 4 rows in the back for our back piece, and we're doing just and um we'll have 2 rows of these put together for the front part. So I'm going to go over this, and of course it's just like we did it on the back. It's just with the back, with the other one I had 5 rows instead of 4, but it's the exact same put together, just with less blocks. But let's go over making these. If you've never made one of these lovely things right here, that's where most of it goes, into the making of this. So I will be making it. I will not be making it with the color changes. um I started with the Aran red heart, and I did 3 rows in that. Then I ended it off and did 2 rows with with the lilac, and ended it off, and then I did the last 3 rows with the heather gray. So I'm going to go over making it with, let's see, let's pull the Caron out so you can see what yarn I made that with. So you see it's a uh, medium 4, and they suggest to make this the hook to use to make this is a 5 millimeter. Again, I'm making all of them, both of them I've made in a 4.5, so I'm going smaller. And this is I have 2 of these, but I've only had to use one in order to achieve all my blocks, because we're just using such a small section of it in order to make it. But to show you how to do this, I'm just going to use I'm just going to use one color. Matter of fact, so we don't have a color contrast issue and everyone can guarantee see this well, we will use, oh, the little label came off. We'll use the gray just to demonstrate how to make this. Okay, so from this angle, we are going to start, and I don't like to make magic rings. Um, I try to avoid it anytime I can. If you like doing that, you can make a magic ring, and we're going to put 16 double crochets in it. But if not, you can do like me and just chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. So into this, into the first stitch on that chain, I'm just going to grab my yarn, come through, and chain up 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so at the end here, we have a little circle. We've created a little circle, and inside that circle, I'm going to go in 15 more times because our chain up of 3 counts as a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So once you have 16 on that chain 3 to begin with, you want to go through the top of that chain 3 and slip stitch, completing a circle. Now once you have a completed circle, you want to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now the fourth one in that chain is going to count for the chain 1 that's going to be in between all of your stitches. So that is the first stitch. We want to go through the next one, right through the top, and we want to make a double. Then we want to chain 1. We're going through the top of our next stitch, and we're making another double and chaining 1. So we will do that all the way around. We should have still 16 doubles at the end. So go through, double, chain 1, going through and chain 1. So every stitch gets a double, and then you chain 1, double, chain 1. Every stitch gets a double and chain 1, double and chain 1, double and chain 1. And go all the way to the end. In that same way. Chain 1 and double and chain 1. So even the last stitch gets that chain 1. So we should have 16 double crochets still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So now the chain 4 that we begin with, we want to count up to the third in that chain, 1, 2, and 3, and there we want to place a slip stitch. Now once you get here, chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. So now on this row, we want to place in each one of these chain 1 spaces 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. Now on top of the doubles, we want to place another double. So chain 1 space gets 2 double crochets. And the double space gets another double. 2 double crochets. And another double on top of the double. 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space, and on top of the double another double. And in here we got to place our 2 double crochets, and on top of the double another double. So you can see how that looks. In between each space, 2 double crochets. On top of the previous double we put another double, and we'll carry out that way to the end of the row. I think when I was making these, what I did was I made all of the center pieces first because I was doing the color change. So I did all of my centers, then came back and did all of the portion to me that looks like flower. And then I came back and did all of my borders. So I worked it in a nice little assembly line. Made it go by faster. So, now make sure you do count your last row before this one with the 16, because if you have come out wrong, if you haven't counted 16 here, like I've done quite a few times, and I wound up with 15 here or 17 here, then this row will be off, and then your next row will be completely off. So the first row and the second row, I always make sure I double and I count each row to make sure I have the correct amount of stitches. All right, so we're ending this row, 2 doubles in between, and single stand-in one, and it should end with, my yarn is getting bunched up here for a reason, and it should end with you placing 2 doubles in between the in the chain 1 space. So the chain 3 that you begin with, you're going to go through the third one, the top of that, and slip stitch to close that row off. All right, so this row we're going to chain up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to count 2 stitches. We're going to skip 1, 2, and in the third one, we're going to place a single crochet. So now we're going to chain 1, 2, and 3. Skip 2 stitches and go into the third one. Chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip 2 stitches and go into the third one. Now we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2 and go into the third with a single crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Skip 2 spaces and go into the third with a single crochet. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip 2 spaces, single crochet into the third. And now 1, 2, 3, and skip 2 and single crochet into the third. And now we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2 and go into the third with a single crochet. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Skip 2 and go into the third. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip 2 and go into the third. And chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Skip 2 and go into the third. And we're single crocheting there. And now we're going to do 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2 and go into the third with a single crochet. And 1, 2, 3, and skip 2 and single crochet into the third. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip 2 and go into the third with a single crochet. And 1, 2, 3 is our last. And with our last, the same place in which we started, we're going to go right into that same stitch with a slip stitch. Okay. Put that down. So we begin here with a chain of 5, single crochet into the third, a chain of 3, a chain of 4, a chain of 3, a chain of 5, chain of 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 4, 3. Now, where we have placed our 5s are our corners, so we should have 4 of them. Okay. Now we're going to start with a 5, which is our corner. So we're going to put your needle inside that corner, grab your yarn, and slip stitch. Okay. So now when you start your work, you will be working in this corner. So I want you to chain 1, 2, and 3. That's going to count for your first double. Now we're going to place 4 more doubles in that same space. So 3, 4, and 5. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to go back into that same space 5 times. 1 with 5 doubles. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to chain 1 into the chain 3 space that's next. Chain 1. Chain 1. Single crochet into that space. Now our next space is the chain 4 space, and into the chain 4 space we will be placing 7 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the next chain 3 space gets a single crochet. Now we're back at a chain 5 space, which is our corners, and in there we'll place 5 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 2 and 5 more double crochets right into that same space. And our 5th one. Okay, our next space is a chain 3. Chain 3 spaces, get a single crochet. Next space is a chain 4 space. Chain 4 spaces, get 7 double crochets. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Chain 3 space, single crochet, and back at a chain 5 space, which is a corner, and our corners get 5 double crochets. 3, 4, and 5. Chain 2 and 5 more double crochets. 3, 4, 5. Now our chain 3 space gets a single crochet. Chain 4 space gets 7 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and our chain 3 space gets single crochet, and our chain 4 space, I'm sorry, and our chain 5 space is a corner, and that gets 5 double crochets. 3, 4, 5 double crochets, chain 2 and 5 more double crochets. 4 and 5. Chain 3 space, single crochet, chain 4 space, 7 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now our last chain 3 space is going to get our single crochet, and the chain 3 that we started out with, we're going to slip stitch into the top of that. Let's look at this row. Okay. So we begin on the corner, and you see our corners get 5 double crochet, chain 2, 5 double crochet, single crochet into the chain 3 spaces, into the chain 4 spaces, 7 double crochet, single crochet into the chain 3 space, and again a corner. So this is how it should look at this point. Now from here, we're going to chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now into our first corner, we're going to go in and put 1 single crochet, chain 2, and another single crochet, and that will be for every corner. Then chain 4 into the chain, into the single crochet from the previous row. We want to put a double. Okay. So that chain 3 space got a single crochet, and on this round, the inside of that single crochet, that's where we're placing our double. And now we want to chain 3, and that chain 3 is going to go at the top, a single crochet onto the 4th one, and that section of 7. So we had 7 here. We're going to place a single crochet right there in the middle, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and again we're going to place a double into the single crochet from the previous row, and chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. And that is how we're going to work this round. So we're chaining 1, 2, 3, 4, double crochet into the single crochet from the previous round, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, single crochet into the 4th stitch, one, 2, 3, chain 3, then double crochet into the single crochet from the previous row, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and into the corner, chain single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, double crochet into the single crochet from the previous row, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, double crochet, single crochet into the 4th double in that area, and 1, 2, 3 chains, and then we're going to place a double again in the chain 1 space, and then chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and work our corner, which is 1 single crochet, 2 chains, and 1 single crochet. And we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to make a double into the single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and place a single crochet in the 4th double, and chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we've already started where we started our chain of 6 to begin this row, we're going to count up 2, 1 and 2, and into the second one, that is where we're going to slip stitch to end off that row. Think that row got me a little tongue tied. So I'm going to look at it from here. So you see all of our corners are getting a chain, a single crochet, 2 chains, and a single crochet. Then we're chaining 4. We're putting a double right where the chain, the single crochet is from the previous row. Chaining 3. We're putting a single crochet on top of the 4 from the row with the 7, and chaining 3 again double where the single crochet is, and chaining 4 to our corner. So that's how which we should have on every corner. There should be a chain of 4, double, chain of 3, chain of 3, double, and chain of 4. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to slip stitch into the space right here, and we're going to chain up 3. Of course, that 3 counts as our first double into this space, and this space on both sides are going to get 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 double crochets. The corner space is going to get 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 double crochets all into that space. So that is our every corner. 3 doubles, 1 chain, 3 doubles all into our corner space. Now the chain 4 spaces will get 5 doubles, 3 and 4 and 5, and our chain 3 spaces are going to get 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And on the opposite side, 1, 2, and 3. And our chain 4 spaces get 5 double crochets. And our corners again get 3 double crochets. Chain 1, 3 double crochets all in the same stitch. Chain 4 space gets 5 double crochets. And the chain 3 space gets the 3 double crochets. And another chain 3 space, so 3 double crochets. Chain 5 space, chain 4 space gets the 5 double crochets. And our corner, of course, again gets the 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. Just look at this before you continue this on your own. So our corners, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. The chain 4 space gets 5 double crochets. The chain 3 space, 3 double crochets here and 3 double crochets here, because this is a chain 3 space 2. And again, the chain 4 space gets 5 double crochets, and we back at our chain corner, which gets 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So carry out the end of this row just like that, and then we'll just go around with a row of single crochets after. So I've come all the way back around, and our last thing we do on this row should be the 3 double crochets in this chain 3 space. Now the chain 3 that we begin with, we will slip stitch into the top of that. So our last thing to do, and your work should look like this. So the last thing that we're going to do is to place a row of single crochets around. So I'm going to chain up 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to go into each stitch with a single crochet. Now when I get to my corner, this is my corner, I'm going to go in there, single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet all into my corner, and that's it. Now when I'm coming off of my corner, I do not want to miss this first stitch right here. Other than that, it's just a row of single crochets all the way around till we get back to where we started with the chain 2. Now I'm back around to where I began. So the chain 2 that I started with, I'm not going to slip stitch in the top, but I'm going to reach around and go on the opposite side of it. You see? And then slip stitch. Now you can, if you don't like my method of doing that, then you can always just chain up 1, and then when you come back around, slip stitch into that. But I don't know why I always do that on my ends, and it doesn't really complicate anything when I'm joining, because all of my pieces are like that. And that's it. So cut your yarn, and there you go. Once you've made your pieces, I would then measure them, and going off of how we make this up, you'll see how many you need in order to make the size you would like. If you want to take and make all of yours eggs the larger size, then you might not want to make as many as you see with the one in the beginning, with me having the smaller size, but it's totally up to you because you could take your measurements to see how long it would be and if that works for you. So now we're going to get into putting this together, which is fairly simple. So we'll go over that now. Okay, so we need 32 of these this size willow square to create this one. We need 32 of them to make this size because we're going to be doing panels. Okay, now let me show you what a panel is when I mean panels. This is a panel to me where we have created, we have put 4 of these together. Okay, so for this panel, we'll be having 4 willow squares in each panel. Okay, so total we are going to make 4. We're going to make 8 of these panels. Okay, so you have 32 of these, and you'll be putting 4 in each panel. So I'm going to show you how to join together and make your panels with 4 in them. Okay, so I'm going to take 4 of these and we're going to put them together to create one panel. So this is the front side of this one, and this is the front side of this one. We will lay the front sides facing each other, and you should have the back end facing you. We will take the color that we worked on the outside, which for me is my gray, and we will add it on into the corner of our work. So we are going to the corner here. Oh, not there, I'm sorry. We have a row of single crochets at the top. We will be going through the corner here, that chain 1 space we created in the corner, and we'll be going through the chain 1 space we created in the corner and the back, and we will add our yarn there. Make a single crochet, and I'm going back into that same space and making a single crochet. So now all we have to do is follow down this line with the single crochets and match each single crochet with the one on top of it. And all of them should have the same amount going down the line. So you're just going to match the one in the front with the one in the back. And I'm working over any of my loose ends, as you see as I go. And this is how we're going to join our pattern panels. For the blue one that you saw earlier, I created 5 panels with 5 in them. So if you're making that one with that size, you would just do the same, but you would have 5 in your panels instead of the 4 that we're doing with this size. Going right down, just matching the single crochets with a single crochet, and of course you're going to end in the corner here and in the corner in the back with that single crochet, and we're going to cut our yarn and pull through. Now when we open it up, we see that's our join. So in order to put another one in, we'll just take another one. This is the front side here. This is the front side here. Back side's facing you. Place that down. And again, we'll be working in the corner on the last row of single crochets. If you can't see where your corner is, this is your corner, and you know you place a single crochet, chain one, and a single crochet in that corner. You want to go through that chain one space here and that chain one space in the back in your corner. Add your yarn on and go back through that same space and put a single crochet. And again, we will just be matching up. In the same place we are in the front, we want to be in the back. And that's it. This is how we're going to join to make our panels. Now for our last stitch, remember we're going through the corner here and the corner here in the chain one spaces. And that is it. And open it back up. So join. We take the last one for our four. Front sides facing each other, back sides facing you. And we'll add on our last one, going through the corner here and the corner here. And going down, matching. That's it. Alright, and don't forget your, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so don't forget your ending in the chain one space in the corner here, and the chain one space in the corner in the back. cutting our yarn, and that is how we make our panels. So let's see. Right, so now I'm going to show you, because all of our panels, and this is 2 panels, all of our panels will have to be joined in some kind of way. So I'm going to explain how to join 2 panels together, and then I'll tell you how many of panels to put together for this piece. So this is the front side, and this is the front side. We're going to place front sides facing each other, back side facing you. And we're going to start in the corner, and we're going to place these in an exact same way that we did for the individual panels. The only thing that's different is when we get to our join area, which is here. This is your join area where you join, and I'll just show you what to do there. So we add on our panels, put them together in the corner, and we're going to add them on going down the exact same way that we did when we were just working singly. So now we're creating a 2x4 piece, because we have 2 going this way, 1, 2, and there'll be 4 going down. So we've created a 2x4 panel. So same way, it's matching the front and the back. And make sure you stay even. Now that we get right before this space, so the corner right here, we have that chain 1 space in the corner. We want to make sure we're going through the same part here as we are in the back. Okay, so we're going to go through that space here, which is the same space that we ended in here, and we're going to go through the same space in the back, our corners. Now we want to come over here, in the same space that we ended with here is our corner here, and we want to go through the same corner in the back. So when you get to this join space, remember you're going through the corner here with the corner in the back, and then skipping over this space, and we're going in the corner here with the corner in the back, and then we just will continue matching up and going all the way down to the end. And that is it. That is how we're going to put together our panels. making sure you stay even. Okay, so now I'm going through the corner in the front here and the corner in the back. Skipping over the join spaces, I'm going to go to the corner here and the corner in the back. So I think you got that. So we're going to go all the way to the end of the piece with that ending in both corners. So once you get to the end, cut your work, pull that through, and you open it up. And now what you have is your 2 by 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now you have a 2 by 4 piece. Now for this pattern, your front piece, you're going to have 2 pieces for your front and 1 piece for your back. So for your front, you're going to have 2 2 by 4 pieces. All right, so I have one I just created with you, and I already have my other one. So I have my 2 2 by 4 pieces. Okay, so now that I have 2 2 by 4 pieces, I'm going to set this aside. My back is going to consist of 4 panels, which is going to end up being 4 by 4. So it's going to be 1 2 3 4 here, and 1 2 3 4 here. So you got 4 panels put together, and it's going to give you 4 by 4 pieces. So your back should have 4 going across and 4 going down. All right. So this is my back piece, big back piece. We're going to look at the edge at the top. Okay. So this is my 4 by 4 piece with 4 panels on it. And I'm going to take this, and this is on its right side, and I'm going to take one of the 2 by 4 panels, which I'm going to face down and have the wrong side facing me, so the right side is down. And we're going to add this from here to here on the corners. So we're going to start in the corner here, and we're going to work this down over the 2 panels. So it's going to match. Okay, so we have 2 panels right here out of the back piece, and we're going to place this down like this here. And then once we have this down at the top, we're going to do the exact thing, same thing on the other side, and place the other front panel down. So to put this down, we're going to put it down just like we have been. We're working inside the corners. Add our yarn. I'm going to go back in. And we're just going to match it up going down the side on the top. Not forgetting when we get to the join area that we will skip from one corner over to this corner. And then keep matching it up. Want to make sure we have it matched up. And we're ending in the corner here and in the corner here. Cut our yarn. Now that we've added this side, now we're going to move down and we're going to add our other panel right here. This is the front side. This is the back side. Front side's facing. And we're beginning in the corner here. And in this corner here. And we're going to match this all the way up, all the way to the end. So voila. So now we have successfully added our panels, or our back panel is 4x4. Then we added our 2x4 panels on one side and on the other side, and you see they join here, leaving from going from corner to corner. The only space that you have here is pretty much the join space. Now I'm gonna put this on its right side. Flip this over. So now what I care to do is I care to, because this is where our head's going to go. I care to go from the bottom all the way up along this route right here and put some type of border around here. The same border that I'm going to show you how to put around here, we are going to put the identical border on the sides. So it'll be going from the bottom all the way around down there. So for this one, we're going to start at the bottom. I'm going to turn it sideways too. All right. Now, we already have pre-existing spaces where we be going, and so we'll be working in each one of these stitches all the way along the top. I will show you what we're doing at the join space. So was thinking of how I wanted to do this. I think I want to keep, and we're going back to our 4.5 millimeter hook. I wasn't going to put any color here, but I think I will bring in some of this lavender because I have so much of it. So we're going to start in the corner here. And we're simply going to join in chain 3 that stands as a double. And in each stitch, we're just going to place a double crochet. So we're going to go around this whole neckline with double crochets. So we're hitting each stitch that we already have established. And because our piece is so busy, the only thing that we're going to give this is double crochets. And then I will come back in after this first row and put in 2 rows of gray on top of these double crochets. Okay, so I'm going to do a row of this and then 2 rows of gray. I think I'm going to leave the cream out of this. And the same thing we're doing here, we're going to do up both of the sides. Now the bottoms, I'm not going to do anything at the bottom. Now if I changed it, then when I show off the piece, if I change my mind between now and then, of course I will tell you. And because we already have established single crochets here. Okay, said I was gonna just talk and talk and talk it. Okay, so when we get to this area right here, we're going to go in the corner. I went in the corner here, worked all the way along, went into my corner here, and I went into the corner here and just kept going down. So when you get to your join spaces, you're just going from corner to corner. But yeah, right now, the way I feel, I don't want to do anything at my bottom. If I change that, though, it'll probably just be rows of double crochet, but just in the gray and not the lavender. And even if I don't do it, if you would like to, it would give it added length. If you would like to put it in the bottom of your piece. So I'm coming up on another join area. I'll show you yet again what I did. So I'm just going into the corner here and into the corner on the other side of the join. Okay. And I'm just going to keep going down and around. I just want to go around the neckline with you, just in case we run into any hiccups, so you understand where to place your stitches around the neckline. And the rest of this is couch work. Okay, so I am coming up to my corner area, to my neck area, which was be the back of my neck, and I wanted to make sure we are clear on where we're going. Okay, so we're gonna hit every last stitch that we see. Mm-hmm. Around your neckline, you're just going to look at it and you're going to hit every last stitch that you see. Because remember, we have no space in between the panel that we put in the front and but the join area. Okay, so you just want to hit whatever stitch you see going around that curve. I'm going to turn this back around so you can look at it from this angle. Okay, now this is that curve, and as you see, we're just hitting whatever we see going around there. It's nothing major. It's no definite amount of number that you have to work in going around there. You just want to make sure you get any of it. Now what we're doing around the neck, of course, this will be standing up on our neck. Okay, so this is that block, and then once we get here, I'm just catching stitches across. Matter of fact, I'll tell you, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've caught 4 around that back end. So one on the other side of that join, then another one, and another one, and another one, and then one on the other side of the joint. So in between that join, I managed to grab 4 stitches, and then back on the other side of the join, and now I'm coming back down the side. So once we've done this all the way down this side, you just want to turn your work and then go back up the side down and from which you came. Okay, so I'm working down this side now, and when I get to my end at the bottom of my piece, if you're changing your color, you're going to snap off your old color, pull through like I will be doing, and then turning your work. Because remember, to come right back up the same side, we must turn our work. So I think what I'll do is I'll come back in and show you how it looks at the bottom, adding on your next color, or even if you're continuing the same color and turning your work. Okay, so I have come to the end of that. So I'm going to cut my yarn here and pull through. Now I'm going to need to turn my work in order to go back up. Now, if you're not changing colors, then you could just turn your work. Well, you would chain 3, excuse me, and then turn your work. If you are not changing colors, chain 3 and turn your work. Me, I am, so I'm going to put it right there in between, in the first double, and add my yarn on, and I'm going to chain 3. So if you're not changing your colors, just chain 3 and turn your work. If you are, then you do just as I did, and chain 3. And then we're just going to work all the way back around, and I'm going to put 2 rows of gray, and all I'm doing is working in the existing doubles that I just created, going down. And of course, when you get to the other side, you will chain 3 and turn your work when you're finished this row. Now, I'm gonna do that. Now, quickly going over the sides. So down and along our side edges, I will be doing the same thing. I will be going from the bottom all the way up to along where my arm area would be, and I'm going to place a row of lavender and then 2 rows of gray. So 3 rows total here, 2 on this side and on the opposite side, on my side parts. So now that we have all that simplicity out the way, I'm going to sit down and work around this 2 more times and then do my side pieces, 3 rows on each side, and let's go see how that turned out, and I will decide from there if I want to put more onto my bottom, but I really think I'm going to leave it as it is, but let's see. Okay, so we have now finished making our Ruana, and this is the Willow one without the pockets. So once you've completed putting it together, this is how it comes out, and again, this is without the pockets. So if you, depending on if you want to put more in the panel to make it wider, you can just add an additional panel here or additional panel in the back, however you want to do it to make it for you. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to go to the table, and I actually want to sew up my sides. I'm going to go from the second pocket, the second one will have the pocket and the bottom one will just be closed. That way my pockets will sit right here. So if you decide to do the pockets, you can place them wherever you feel comfortable, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's get right to the table and let's put the pockets in on this one. And if you like it as is, then guess what? You're done. So it's great to have the different options because you can make it all kinds of ways. This is not a specific pattern where it's like, no, you must do this. You can do whatever it is you like to do with this. So let me show you that right now. Okay, here we are back at the table. Now I'm just going to show you how to do one side. It's pretty much a simple thing to do. So with this one, the one what I want to do is just sew up really just one. Now this is a willow square. I know it does not match this color. I wanted to make sure you can see it against this going in, so I kind of made it a charcoal gray. If you are putting in the pockets, make them to match your original pieces. I just have this so you can see it easily how it's going in. What I did here is use 2 willow squares, the same size as your other ones, to place it in. But I have 1 willow square on one side, and the other side I just did double crochets to match the same size as the willow square. Now you can use this same method for both sides, just double crochets to match the width of 1 willow square. That's fine. And of course I did this to make it simple. I did not want to make another willow square after I've made all these willow squares. So I want the willow square side, if you're doing it like me, to show. So I'm going to place that like this, because then when I sew it down at these points, which I will do, I will sew it down when I'm done here and here. I want the willow square side to show. So because we're placing this one here, we only need to go up the edges from here to here, okay? Because then once we get here, we're placing in the pocket, and the pocket will, of course, that area will be closed, okay? So I am going to get the same yarn, and which is my outer layer. Let me find my start piece. That's not my start piece. Same as my outer layer. And just how we piece together all of the squares and the tops connecting them, we're going to do the same thing here. Now make sure your piece is on the wrong side. So this is both wrong sides here, wrong side here, wrong side here, because when we open it up, this is the right side, and we don't want our joining stitches to show on the right side. So I'm going to go in the corners at the bottom here, add on my yarn, and I'm simply going to go down matching just as we've been doing to create this closure join. So I'm just going to keep going up until I get to the second willow square in this, and then I'm going to end it off. So I'm going to go all the way up till I get about right here. Just making sure I get both sides. Yeah, this was a really fun piece, and I'm glad I decided to do something different. At first I started to do African flowers, but the willow square is bigger and it's less of them that I have to make, so I figured I'd go with that. And showing you how to do it like this, of course you can change it up and put any different color combinations, or if you want solid colors, would be nice too. I like how it looks open, although if I was going to keep it open, I'd probably add an additional panel to the back and additional panels on each side. So I think that's why I like it closed better. Now, as you can see, I'm pretty much right here. There's no amount of stitches indefinite. You just want to get at least 2 or past that first one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this off. I'm going to cut my yarn and pull through and close that off. Now that this one has closed off, let me move my yarn, slide my pocket over. Now we're going to open this up and look at it from the right side. And we see we have a close here. Now my pocket, I'm going to put on this side. So my pocket is going on the right side. Now I have my pocket already made, so I'm gonna put it in there. I went this way. And my pocket's gonna sit in here like this. Now this end we will close up when we get to that end of the pocket. Bring my yarn back in and grab my hook. So now what I want to do, let me get this around my finger. what I want to do now is, you see the pocket, we have the front willow side here, and we have the double crochet side. We're going through the tops. I'm just going to go in to the corner on this side, and this is the last stitch that we worked in right here. I want to use that last stitch that we worked in. So we have already worked into it to join, but I want to use that one, and I want to go through what would be the first stitch on this side. Now this is one side of the pocket. We'll work on that side when we get on that side. Now we're working on this side, so I want to go on the first one on that side and grab my yarn and add it on. Chain up one, and I'm going back into that same corner because I want to make sure that's locked on there tight at the beginning. Now the second stitch here, I want to go through that one and go through the next one on the pocket, and we're going to add that on just like that all the way down, going through the next stitch in the pocket. Next stitch here, next stitch in the back with the pocket. Oh, wait. And we'll just keep joining it together. All the way down. All the way down. Now your pocket should at least clear the next willow square. It's the one we sewed up, and we're almost to the end of this one. Make sure I have my corners. Yeah. So this is my corner here. Make sure you do not go past your corner. One more stitch here. Now this is the last stitch for that side, and that's it. So that's one side. Let me spin this large piece around a little bit. So now what we must do is you take and make sure you have it even, because we're going to jump from side to side. Okay, so making sure this is even. You don't want your pocket to buckle. Just following along. If you need to count your stitches on the pocket to make sure you have the right ones, you can do that as well. But if not, just make sure they line up, because it should all line up. It should be. Now I'm working in the last stitch here for this side. Now I want to go back into that last stitch from this side And I want to go in what will soon be the first stitch for this side. So again, I'm making sure this is seamless and that's there, and the last stitch for that side to me would be here. So now I want to take and go through that one and single crochet, and that is it. So I'm going to do that one more time. Once we've gone through the last stitch on this side of our piece, go back through that same last stitch we just worked in and measure it up with the what would be the first stitch on this side and make a single crochet. Now we've successfully now closed off this piece here. So this is our arm piece up here. We've now successfully closed off that piece, and now we're ready to just go straight down here and end it. So let me turn it a little bit more. Now we're working here, and we're going to work in our first corner here. So we're on the first stitch on that side. And then we're just going to keep going down, adding on. Make sure you're capturing both sides. Almost to the end. Now my last stitch is here, and that should be matched with the corner. So now that I have both sides on, I want to go back through my first stitch on the opposite side and slip stitch. Okay. Now I'm going to cut my yarn at a greater distance because I want to weave this in. I'm just going through there one more time and pulling it through. Okay, making a knot. Now you want this string to be long enough for you to be able to weave this in and out through there. And that's how we close up one side and put a pocket on it. So do the other side, and let's go back and let's see how it looks with pockets on it.